Happy Sunday, everyone. This is Robin, and it is Sunday, April 23rd of week 7. You're almost done. Final countdown here. Less than 14 days left to go, and I'm just going to provide you with a little bit of last minute guidance for finishing up your projects. Okay, so here is Blackboard for week 7, and the link to the week 7 guidance document is here. There will be a link as soon as I'm done with this screencast right here to the video message. And this is the link to our shared resource folder. Okay. So you will notice that you have the same readings due as you've had for the whole course. Hendricks 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, I think. Let's see, you have also your entire project, everything, abstract, title page, table of contents, chapters 1, 2, and 3, all your appendices. Chapter 4, even though it's your first time turning it in, unless you are like some of the groups that have been turning it in to me today, or will be turning it in to me sometime during the week for a quick review before turning it in at the end of the week, right? All of your signature pages, everything has to be done and in the correct format and loaded into Blackboard no later than 11:59 on Saturday, April 29th. Okay, so that's this coming Saturday. Once I have read your work and given you feedback, and you have made all the corrections or revisions or edits in order for your final product to actually be perfect, mechanically, clarity-wise, content-wise, format-wise. Once everything has been signed off, then you are eligible to defend your project and do your oral presentation. Okay, that doesn't mean that you can't work on it now. It just means you aren't eligible to present it until I have given you the final okay that everything about your capstone project is perfect, can be saved as a PDF, and uploaded for the final time. Okay, so if you have questions about that, we'll talk about it a little bit later. Either individually, you can send me an email, give me a call, we can have a hangout or something like that. But we have to before you do your presentation, I have to sign off on your capstone saying there's nothing else that needs to be done to it. Okay? It's in its final form. So you do have a reflection journal to include again this week. All right, this is your final one. And then this, as you know, says Blackboard Collaborate. However, we use Hangout. So we have one final Hangout on this Thursday at 7 p.m., April 27th. So I'm going to leave Blackboard now and go into our shared folder. So you have this shared folder called ED UT 605. Hopefully by now you've saved it to your own drive, so you don't have to keep looking for it in mine. Okay, here's the capstone resources folder. This is important this week because there are a couple of things here that you're going to need. One is the new capstone template. The only thing that has been revised in the template are the 2 approval forms on pages 2 and 3. You do need to look at this template and make sure that you have the correct approval forms. Okay, you cannot use the approval forms from the template that was given to you at the beginning of this course. I know that that's confusing, but I didn't get the new template until April 17th either, and I've been trying really hard to make sure you know that there are changes, right? So in this template, when you open it up, it now says, attention, revised collaborative capstone project writing template, right? It's in our folder. If you go to page 2, here's the new approval form that I have to sign, and I have already provided it for you. I'll show you where it is. Once my signature is on it and your signature is on it, then you can delete this line right here, okay? Once all the appropriate signatures are on it, you can delete this line with the asterisk, and you can scan and insert the approval page. This is just like stage directions, telling you what you need to do. So I have a version already uploaded in our folder for you with my signature. All you need to do is print it and put your signatures on it, scan it, and upload it. Okay, so this is page 2 of the new template, and this is page 3. This is the new copyright permission agreement, and you and your partner need to fill this out. You need to print it. You need to sign it. Okay, then you need to put in all this other information, address, city, state, zip, etc., right? Then you need to scan it back and send it to yourselves, and then insert it into your document in page 3. Okay. Lots of questions about the acknowledgments page too. You can certainly Google acknowledgments and get some definition for this, but this is really the spot where, as formally as you want, one or both of you create a paragraph thanking the people who made this happen for you, who helped you get through the process, who have contributed to your learning or have supported you through particularly the 2 capstone courses, right? If not the whole master's project. This is where you get to acknowledge them in writing. And again, you can do it as one paragraph that the 2 of you write together, or you can each write a paragraph. And it doesn't have to be long and elaborate. However, it can be if you want it to be. Okay, this is your space. This is your space. Okay, so now I'm going to change gears. And so here again is the Capstone Resources folder inside the EDUT 605 folder. Okay, right here. This is the heart rate monitor sample, which I have mentioned to you before. You should take a look at, particularly chapter 4, before you write it. Now, here's a good example of a problem we're going to have. And I've actually written on all the forms that you need to copy this document first and save it to your drive, but some people are copying it and leaving it in my drive here. So that's why you're seeing multiple copies of things, and I have to keep removing them. So in this folder, here's the approval form with Robin's signature. See, it's right here. I decided, if you kept up with the emails that went back and forth this week, I decided I wasn't going to go back and forth with each group individually to sign the document. So I printed a copy of the approval form that's page 2 of the new template. I signed it, okay? I adjusted it so that there's only a place for 2 signatures down here, because every group in our course, in our cohort, all the groups only have 2 people. Okay, so I adjusted it here. And then I saved it back into Drive. I scanned it and uploaded it back into the Google Drive folder of Capstone Resources. Then I converted it from a PDF. I used Adobe Acrobat, and I converted the document from a PDF, the scanned PDF, back into a Word document. So now you are able to fill in all of this stuff that you're supposed to personalize. Okay. So right here where it says under the direction of the candidate's faculty advisor, you put under the direction, this research study, title, this is where you put your title, by your names, okay, was prepared under the direction of, you would put Robin Hall, or Dr. Robin Hall, okay, your faculty advisor. All right. So you need to personalize or customize this first line. All right. It's important you do that. And then you print it, you sign it, you date it, you scan it, you send it to yourselves, and then you insert it into your capstone document in place of the approval form that is already there. Okay. Now, when you come up here to retrieve this form in the capstone resources, you have to make a copy of this first. All right. You have to copy it first, or we're going to end up with 15 versions of it in my folder. So you should open it and immediately be directed to copy it. But in the event that that does not happen, okay, then you need to go to File, go to Make a Copy, okay, you say okay, and then when the little file pops up here, which it will in just a minute, the little Move To file, then you click on the Move. Let's go Move. You say move this item, and you move it to your drive, and then you pick a folder in your drive, probably a capstone folder that you've been keeping. Okay, you pick a file in your drive and you send it there. Okay, just like this, and then say click move here. Okay, so you're moving an item out of the shared folder, and that's okay because what you're moving is a copy of the approval form. Okay, so once the copy is out, you should be able to go back to the capstone and see that the original is still here. Okay, so this is somebody's copy that they didn't move out of my drive and into theirs. And I'm sorry, but I can't confuse people with all kinds of different copies. So I can't get to there we go. I'm going to remove it. Okay, because I don't want a lot of extra documents in here while people are trying to find what it is I want them to see. So you're welcome to make copies of any of these documents, but you need to save them to your drive. Okay. Okay, so now going back to the 605 folder, here's our regular folder that has all the week 1 documents, the week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's 7. We're going to look at 7 in just a minute. Okay. I'll be looking at your reflective journals. This is where I'm keeping track of the reflective journals. I'll be reading those tonight because they're all due tonight. I know a number of you have already finished them, so you should be looking for my feedback very soon. And then this is our research group document, and we're all done with those individual research group meetings so that you really don't have to take a peek at this anymore. Okay, we're done with that one. This is the week 8 presentation rubric, and we're going to talk about that a little bit as we move into viewing our guidance document for this week. And I'm just closing out a few extra things here. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the final countdown. These next 2 weeks are going to fly by. So just be sure that you are making the best use of your time. Those of you that have been doing a fair amount of work every week since the beginning of this course, you're going to be in great shape. You're not going to be driving yourselves crazy at the very last minute, because that last week, week 8, you don't actually have a lot of time to do any rewriting or revising. Mostly it all happens this week. So you've got between now and next Saturday to turn in your final capstone project, the best one you can do. Even if it says preliminary, that doesn't mean that you turn in any old thing. It means that you're turning in your very best effort that requires very little revision. And in fact, should require no revision, because you have proofread it very, very well. You've sent it through Grammarly. You've used the Writing Center. You have asked peers in your class, in your course, to peer review your works for writing mechanics, for content, for clarity. You have taken all of those steps before you have uploaded anything for me to read, okay? This should be, you are now in the last few weeks of your master's project, and this should be master's quality graduate work. Okay. All right. So here are the learning outcomes for this class. And in yellow here are the final things that need to be addressed during week 6 and 7. Week 8 is right here. Final capstone project submitted to Blackboard for grading and library publication. The final project, once I have given you the approval, once I have said you are all done, there is nothing that you have to do, this is perfect, then you save it as a PDF and upload it to Blackboard in the appropriate space. Okay? At that point, you are eligible to do your presentation and finish the course. Okay, you can be working on your presentation way before that, but you aren't eligible to present it until I have said that your capstone project is perfect as it is. Okay, that there's nothing that has to be done to it. So again, the to-do list for this week, there'll be a link here to this video announcement. You'll refer to chapters 3 through 7 of the Hendricks text, especially if you need any more guidance with chapter 4. Go back and refer to your Hendricks text. Submit your best effort project draft to Blackboard for my feedback by 11:59 on Saturday, April 29th. I've already received 2. So 2 groups have already turned theirs into me as of my recording this. So people want to be on top of this. They don't want to be trying to get everything done at 11 o'clock on Saturday. Okay, so get your project in its final format and send me your draft as soon as possible. If you just want me to look at chapter 4, then you can send me your chapter 4. And if I'm not otherwise occupied, I will make time to take a look at it, okay? But that final has to be in by next Saturday. Be certain that you have proofread the document very well. Double check your APA formatting. Use Grammarly, use the Writing Center. Ask a course peer to read your work and give you feedback about clarity, formatting, and writing mechanics. For those of you that are using the Writing Center, I just want to let you know that I just found out from the university that those folks that are in the Writing Center are told to at max devote an hour to any one particular project. So when you submit to the Writing Center, If they can't finish reading your project in an hour, they just stop. Okay? According to what I have been told. And I know for me, it sometimes takes me 3 and 4, and in some cases 5 hours to read through your projects. So just want you to keep that in mind. They're only reading as far as they can read in an hour, and then they stop. So that means you have to keep reading, or you have to resubmit it another time and tell them where to start from where they left off last time. Okay? But you're running out of time for that. So your better bet might be to do some peer editing, because you did great job with that for each other way back at the beginning of the course. Once I have approved all the final work on your project, once I've seen that all of the revisions have been made and your document is perfect as it is from beginning, from the title page all the way to the appendices, okay, then you are eligible to share your oral presentation and submit your final project as a PDF electronically under the link titled Final Action Research Project in Blackboard. Okay? So you received emails from me regarding the new approval and copyright permission agreements. So I'm going to change this to capital since it's listed in the document as the new approval and copyright permission agreements. And those are on pages 2 and 3, as I showed you when we first came on this screencast. They're in the new capstone writing template, which is linked here. They were sent to you there were emails about this sent to you beginning on April 17th. There have been several updates since then. If you want to see the guidance or follow that string of communication, go back to your Concordia email and start looking at April 17th and follow the breadcrumbs, okay? You must use these newly released forms in your capstone project. You cannot receive final approval unless those forms are used. Okay, as I showed you, I've loaded a copy of the approval form in our shared Google folder. It's located in the Capstone Resources subfolder. Okay, my signature, as you saw, is already on the form in that folder. The form is dated May 5th, which is important because I should not be signing that document for you until I have said your document, your project is perfect. So here's the problem. If you sign it and date it April 24th, April 25th, April 27th, if you sign it before my signature, the date on my signature, then we've got a problem, because I'm saying by signing it April or signing it May 5th, I'm saying that it's perfect as of May 5th. Okay, that's the date I signed it. So you need to put May 5th on it as well. Okay, I may tell you that it's ready to go a few days earlier than that, but we're going to make sure everybody has all the time they need. So we're dating it May 5th. Okay, so make a copy of the form I showed you that has my signature, save it to your Google Drive, not mine. Move it into your Google Drive, print it, have both members of your research group sign it and date it. Use the May 5th date, scan the form, send it to yourself, go to your capstone project and delete the current approval form placeholder that you have there. Insert the scanned one that contains all our signatures, okay? You will have to work out a similar method of signing, scanning, and inserting your group's permission agreement as well. I don't see a place on that for my signature. It looks like it's just for your signature, but there is a place for you at the very top and throughout the document to customize it, to have your title of your document, to put the option that you're selecting for whether you're having it bound or whatever the case may be. Okay. So make sure you're reading those carefully and you're not just signing them and popping them in without customizing forms 2 and 3 as they're intended to be customized, okay, using your group's information. So here are the 2 forms, and these are linked. So when you open this form, you should be able to click on it and it should take you to the document. But if it doesn't, if for some reason that isn't working for you, there's 5 other places in here that will take you to those forms, and you know that they're also in the group's shared resource folder. Okay. So this Thursday night we have our final group hangout. This is our optional whole group hangout. It's at 7 o'clock this coming Thursday, April 27th. Okay, and I'll just get rid of this because we no longer have any more individual group hangouts. Okay, so here's about what's coming up in week 8. Okay, do not wait until week 8 of this course to do everything. Make your chapter edits and revisions now, particularly if you had a substantial number of chapter 1 through 3 edits again last week. Don't wait until the very end. It's deceiving how long doing these edits and updates takes. It takes hours sometimes. So please don't wait till the very end. Write and submit your chapter 4 as soon as possible. Continue with your presentation preparations. With no exceptions, I must submit grades to Concordia on Sunday, May 7th. With no exceptions. And that means everybody has to have a final error-free document presented by that date. Okay, so your final no error products must be turned in by May 5th, and I have to score them by May 6th. Okay, week 8 is the week for whole group presentations. This is where you will defend your research. Okay, you can use whatever presentation tool you want to. I will be recording these, and hopefully we'll be using just about everybody in the group, I think, has a Twitter handle. So we might use Periscope because that might be easier than Facebook Live. But we'll use either Periscope or Facebook Live for everybody who isn't present in Northern California from Southern California to watch those presentations, and vice versa later in week 8. So our schedule right now is for the Bay Area research groups. There are 2 of them to meet May 2nd at the Alameda County Office of Education at 313 West Winton Avenue. It's room 273. I'm actually taking that week off of work so that I can grade your products, your capstone projects. However, I'm going to go to work that night so that I can get you into the building, and we'll have our presentations there. Okay, so room 273 at 5 o'clock. And I will send out an email with information on how to get on Periscope and such for those of you that will not be local, so that you can watch what's going on. We may actually, if I can figure out how way to do it, we may actually use Hangouts, just because there's no way to chat with Periscope. You can send little hearts and flowers, but if you actually have questions for the presenters, it may be better if we broadcast with a Hangout and just see if we can find some effective way for you to see as best as possible what's going on. Okay, but keep in mind too, all your presentations need to have a link to them so that they can be uploaded. The link to your presentation as well as the recording can be uploaded to Blackboard at the very end as evidence that you've completed the capstone project, okay? So in Southern California, I'll be flying down the morning of May 4th, and we'll be meeting. I've asked for a 5 o'clock start time, okay? That's what I've asked for. And I've asked the university to try and arrange for us to use the location that you use for your regular face-to-face classes. So we're working on 5 p.m. meeting time, okay, at your face-to-face location. I haven't had that confirmed. I started working on that on Monday or Tuesday this past week with, I believe his name is Richard, but I have not heard back yet from him. So I will follow up this week. But the goal is May 4th at 5 p.m. at the church where you typically meet for your face-to-face classes. Okay, so something that I dug up and I couldn't find very easily, maybe some of you already found it, but I dug around in 3 or 4 places and finally found the capstone presentation rubric actually in the week 8 area of assignment area of Blackboard is where I found it. And so this is a link to the presentation rubric right here. Don't forget your week 7 reflective journal entry. That is the last one that you have to make. Okay. This is just a reminder that you have a bunch of, well, some of you have none, but a few of you had some, and a couple of you had many updates to make to your chapters 1 through 3. So keep going with that. Make sure that you have done those updates and that you've reviewed the chapter 4 capstone project, the heart monitors, and the handbook for guidance on chapter 4, that you've familiarized yourself with the rubric for chapter 4, and then write your best effort of a chapter 4 to include in the final draft that you'll be uploading to Blackboard on Saturday. This is not the time to just turn something in to make Robin happy, okay? This is a time for you to make sure that what you're turning in is the best that you can do. Okay? I know that this has shown up several times in this guidance, but we do have some groups that don't have a lot of proofreading done before they turn their work in. And we just don't have the time this time for me to spend 4 or 5 hours on a capstone project, particularly making a lot of the same corrections I've made in the versions you've sent before. Okay, this is time for you to make sure that everything is the best that it can possibly be. You don't want to keep yourself from graduating. You want to be there walking with everybody else. You cannot graduate without a perfect capstone project. And it has to be perfect by May 5th. So you need your best perfect effort turned in by next Saturday, April 29th, right? Or you won't have enough time to make the corrections and develop your presentation too. Okay, I don't like having to sound like a wicked witch of the West about this, but it really is time to step up and turn in an excellent product the first time. So here's the rubric. It's also linked Okay, this is the presentation rubric. As I mentioned to you, it's in our shared folder as well. Okay, you get 2 points max, 2 points max for clarity, synthesis, description, findings, and articulation. 2 points max for each of those. And this, it has to be, in order to get the 2-point max, highly developed, purposeful, refined, correct language and formatting, exceptional reflection, substantial evidence. Okay. So here's the rubric. Look it over as you're creating your presentation. Okay. So again, here are the rubrics for Chapter 1. You should be really familiar with 1, 2, and 3 by now. And here's the rubric for Chapter 4. Okay, I've highlighted important sections. Okay, please be very, very, very attentive to what is required here. Okay, and that's it, the final countdown. If you have any questions, please make sure you let me know. I am not traveling this week. I do have my regular full-time job to do. However, I'm not traveling, which makes it easier for us to be able to talk with each other, or for me to take phone calls and respond to emails and texts. Okay. All right. We're almost there. You're doing a great job. I'm, so impressed with the tenacity and perseverance and the quality of the work. We've had great conversations during your individual research group times. I want to let you know that although it has been a heavy lift for all of us, it's been a remarkable journey for me. And I feel so grateful to have had the opportunity to watch you all develop into researchers and see your confidence change from way back in the first week of EDUT 580, when you first contemplated doing this and thinking that it might be too much to ever accomplish. And here you are on the other end, and I couldn't be prouder of all of you. So keep up the good work, and I will see you all in person next week. Okay? All right. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.